To me, Irish people are the funniest in the world. They just are.
Oh, this looks amazing.
I just love any food that comes with its own home.
Everyone's a comedian.
Anything else?
Some greens.
What do you think I am? A juggler?
Stunning. Inspirational. Would you look at the brushstrokes on it?
I think the reason I see comedy in everything is because I was surrounded by it growing up.
That's good.
You wouldn't know we're 105.
You're 105.
Do you know what? There's only one word for that.
Absolutely cracker.
Hi, how are you?
In Ireland, one of the greatest compliments you can give someone is to describe them as a character.
If you find any pearls, give them to me, okay?
Come on, Slowcoat! Come on, I'm coming! You couldn't run the length yourself!
Because as every writer knows, it's the characters you remember long after you've forgotten the story.
Fill your heart with Ireland. Discover more at ireland.com.
Eurogold is driven by being the best civil engineering contractor in the Northwest, ensuring its clients are given the highest level of service that they deserve. Eurogold work in a wide range of industry sectors, including house building, highways, commercial and industrial build.
La Vita is an award-winning, independently run Italian restaurant. Located on Rose Lane in the heart of Liverpool, real Italian-style dishes, using the best ingredients, skillfully prepared by our chefs. Come and try our serious Italian experience.
The Warrington Irish Club. Friendly and welcoming club keeping the Irish culture alive. We have Irish and country music every Saturday night, tribute nights, race nights, charity nights and karaoke. All live sports are shown on big screens. We have snooker, dominoes and crown green bowling teams along with arts and craft. Pop in for a friendly welcome and book your event at the Warrington Irish Club. Give Frank a call on 01925 243 363.
Mulligan's Funeral and Monumental Services are a family-owned funeral service first established by the late Brian Mulligan in 1996. We provide funeral homes in Gorton, Manchester and Reddish, Stockport, and we pride ourselves on giving a friendly and professional service to all the families who use our service. Contact us on 0161 432 0809.
Hello everyone and welcome to the show. This week we'll be meeting Garry Scott from BBC Radio Lancashire and we'll be finding out just how important is the radio to his listeners. But first up tonight we're off to meet the Justine Ward-Mallinson School of Irish Dancing based at the Irish World Heritage Centre in Manchester. They just returned from a very successful World Championships in Montreal in Canada.
Justine, my goodness, what a group of great dancers you've got here at the Irish World Heritage Centre.
Thanks, Martin. Yes, I'm very proud of them. They're a fabulous bunch, great to teach, very receptive to everything you say to them. They try the best, that's all they can do. We've just come back from the World Championships in Montreal and the numbers that were partaking, absolutely phenomenal, and the standard was immense. I have never ever seen a championship where the dancing was as fine as it was this year.
And you had a great result as well. You had a good time out there, didn't you?
We did. The last time we went to Montreal, it was a very grey city and the weather wasn't very good. The weather wasn't so good this time, but the dancing was superb and our kids pulled it out of the bag. We were very, very fortunate that they all got on that stage and performed to the best ability, and we were lucky to come away with some medals and prizes from the World Championships, which is a big achievement. To even be there is a big achievement, but to come away with a prize is fantastic. It makes it all worthwhile, all the hours of dedicated work and the parents putting the time and the effort in bringing the children to classes, you know, and the discipline to practice at home. It makes all that seem as though it's been worth it. It's a tiny, tiny piece of tin, that little coveted medal, but it's so, so, so lovely to have.
Olivia, tell me, when did you first start to get involved in Irish dancing?
So I began dancing with Justine at the age of 4, and I've danced ever since, and I'll be 26 next week, so that's 22 years nearly. 4 classes a week for 22 years, and that goes to show how much I love it and how much of a break it gives me. It brings me so much joy, and through all of my exams, GCSEs, A-levels, university, even studying through the day, I really found it gave me that break. Even now, have a full-time job, have a house to look after, have a baby to look after, and still it gives me that break, so I keep coming 4 nights a week. The girls joke about it every class, but when the music comes on, his legs are moving and then the music stops, and he definitely tells Justine off for stopping the music. So although Daddy thinks it'll be football, I don't think he's got a choice.
An awful lot of work goes in, of course, preparing for the World Championships. But now that it's over, what's next?
There's no breakdown, there's no rest, there's no respite. We've got Scottish Nationals coming up, which is a qualifying event for next year's World Championships. Fortunately, the children who achieve world medals in this class, winning a world medal means that they've automatically qualified for next year's event. But there are obviously still other children that would like to be in Glasgow. I think it's in Glasgow next year. So it's very important that we strive to change our dances, keep motoring on and be the best that we can at the Scottish Nationals.
Montreal as well. Tell me about that and what was the experience like?
It was amazing. I flew there with my mum and dad, who still support me now. It was an amazing experience, and to share it with so many of these girls that we see work so hard day in, day out at class, and to see everybody shine on that stage and to have that experience yourself on that stage and give it your best shot, it is an honour, and it's an opportunity that so many of us have been fortunate to experience. It's like the cherry on top of the icing on the cake, you know. The dancing is the cake, qualifying for the World Championships is the icing, but coming home with a medal, it's just like all your hard work's paid off. It really is the cherry on top.
Tallest you can be. Tallest you can be, man. Get those feet across. That's it, good girl. Straight those legs.
I was watching you there teaching the teenagers and the children as they were going along, and every minute detail you were picking up.
You have to, really. You know, sometimes it can be misconstrued as criticism. It's never criticism. It's constructive. It's corrections. It's trying to make them be the best that they can possibly be. There's no point in allowing a child to dance where they're making mistakes and not making those corrections, because you can only improve if the corrections are made and worked on.
So I was fortunate enough to travel to Montreal previously in 2015 when the World Championships were there. The World Championships have also taken me to Philadelphia. I've also been to Boston, Florida. I will be travelling to Nashville later this year for the American Nationals, and then closer to home, you know, Scotland, Ireland. It's taken me all across the globe, and you know, I am so fortunate to have experienced so much.
Tell me about your Irish dancing. Do you like it?
Yeah, I love it. My mum, my dad, everyone just supports me the whole way through it.
And how long have you been dancing?
Not very long.
You put in an awful lot of time into teaching Irish dancing.
I do, but I do because I absolutely love it. I come into class, I could have had a bad day at home, but I come into class and I just forget everything and become totally engrossed in the teaching, and it's a joy for me. I teach Monday 6 till 8:30, Tuesday 6 till 7 for beginners and 7 till 9 for open dancers. Everybody's welcome. I also teach in Swinton as well on Thursday and Friday in a little church hall. But again, any inquiries, please feel free to contact me via Facebook, email, anyway.
It's great to see all our Irish dancing schools from all around the country doing so well, and a special congratulations to the Justine Ward-Mallinson School of Irish Dancing for their great success at the World Championships in Canada. Now it's time for a break, and we'll see you very soon.
To me, Irish people are the funniest in the world. They just are.
Oh, this looks amazing. I just love any food that comes with its own home.
Everyone's a comedian.
Anything else?
Some greens.
What do you think I am? A juggler?
Stunning. Inspirational. Would you look at the brushstrokes on it?
I think the reason I see comedy in everything is because I was surrounded by it growing up.
That's good.
You wouldn't know we're 105.
You're 105.
Do you know what? There's only one word for that. Absolutely cracker.
Hi, how are you?
In Ireland, one of the greatest compliments you can give someone is to describe them as a character.
If you find any pearls, give them to me, okay?
Come on, Slowcoat! Come on, I'm coming! You couldn't run the leg to yourself!
Because as every writer knows, it's the characters you remember long after you've forgotten the story.
Fill your heart with Ireland. Discover more at Ireland.com.
Eurogold is driven by being the best civil engineering contractor in the Northwest, ensuring its clients are given the highest level of service that they deserve. Eurogold work in a wide range of industry sectors, including house building, highways, commercial and industrial build.
La Vita is an award-winning, independently run Italian restaurant. Located on Rose Lane in the heart of Liverpool, real Italian-style dishes, using the best ingredients, skillfully prepared by our chefs. Come and try our serious Italian experience.
The Warrington Irish Club, a friendly and welcoming club keeping the Irish culture alive. We have Irish and country music every Saturday night, tribute nights, race nights, charity nights and karaoke. All live sports are shown on big screens. We have snooker, dominoes and crown green bowling teams along with arts and craft. Pop in for a friendly welcome and book your event at the Warrington Irish Club. Give Frank a call on 01925 243 363.
Mulligan's Funeral and Monumental Services are a family-owned funeral service first established by the late Brian Mulligan in 1996. We provide funeral homes in Gorton, Manchester and Reddish, Stockport, and we pride ourselves on giving a friendly and professional service to all the families who use our service. Contact us on 0161 432 0809.
Welcome back. Now we're off to meet Garry Scott from BBC Radio Lancashire. Gary's been a broadcaster for a very long time, and we went along to find out just how important is the radio to his listeners.
It's almost 12 minutes past 7. It's Your Lancashire on BBC Radio Lancashire. Garry through until 10 o'clock.
BBC Radio Lancashire.
We've been broadcasting to Lancashire now since 1971. Back in those days, we were BBC Radio Blackburn, and the idea was that every major town and city would have its own station. In 1981, the idea had changed because it would have been difficult to give every town their own station. So we became BBC Radio Lancashire, broadcasting to the whole of the county. And we've been broadcasting ever since. We are part of a network of 39 local BBC stations. And it's a great place to work. It's lovely. It's different every day because we talk to different people every day. We have different guests every day. And in the 20 years that I've been here, just over 20 years, I can honestly say I haven't had the same day twice.
BBC Radio Lancashire.
We have a lot to do on Your Lancashire, not least of all, introduce you to our packed studio full of guests. The best thing about it is you never know who you'll speak to on a given day. You don't know who's going to ring up, you don't know who's going to come in As a guest, you're always trying to find stories, and the interesting thing is finding guests. We have a remit to cover all sides of life in the county, and Lancashire is massively diverse. We've got so many great people living here. Our news bulletins sometimes are a bit gloomy because you know what it's like, the news tends toward the bad, and if you just listen to the news you think everything was terrible, but you sometimes forget there's so many people doing amazing things to make their part of the world a little bit better, and we get the joy of finding those people and celebrating what they do and giving them a well done, if you like, putting them on the radio and saying, well done you, listen to this everybody, isn't it great? And it's brilliant when we can find somebody and celebrate their achievements. So that's what we're about, you know, celebrating achievements from right across the wonderful, diverse county of Lancashire. Well, Your Lancashire is basically designed to celebrate the good things that are happening in the county and throw a spotlight on organisations, clubs, people, societies who are doing great things. It's a celebration, many times it's a celebration of people's good work. It's been running since 2018. We took a break for the pandemic, obviously, because everybody had to stop what they were doing. And every week we speak to a different bunch of people, a different club, a different group, and find out what makes them tick, find out what they do. Sometimes we have a lot of fun. Now and again, there are serious subjects that we cover. I mean, some highlights we've had to show you the idea of diversity. We held the first Alcoholics Anonymous meeting on the air live anywhere in the world, where people shared sometimes harrowing stories of what they'd been through, but the important thing was where they are now. We did a call out for an animal charity. They needed toys and food for the dogs for Christmas, and they had nothing. And we broadcast and we chatted to them. And 4 days later, I got a photo, and the storeroom that had been absolutely empty was waist high, you know. And we've given people the first play on the radio with songs they've written or things like that. We've talked to the Muslim community, we've talked to the Jewish community, traveller community, we've spoken to the Irish community. The diaspora is massive, as you know, in Lancashire. And it's my sort of privilege and really, really great pleasure to put that together each week, together with my producer, Chris Thornley, who he'll see my great idea, and when he should say no, he goes, okay, let's do this. And he sort of eggs me on, Martin, that's the thing, but he's a great man.
I'm very lucky really with Garry because he takes care of a lot of his programme himself, but what I've been doing today, I've been working on the afternoon programme. So my role in that is to make sure that we've got enough guests, make sure if there's a political story and there's a lot of politics happening at the minute, so I have to contact a central source to get somebody to talk to us about what's happening in politics. Then we do something called a tea break, so we'll have a longer guest. But this evening we've got a young lady that was talking to us a couple of years ago with Garry on an outside broadcast, and she happened to mention that she was looking for sponsorship because she's a motor racer. And somebody rang in that very night and said, I'd like to get involved in this. So we've invited them back in, and they're on tonight. So we've got the young lady that is going to talk to us, who's the actual racer herself. We've got the owner of the team, and we've got the guy that actually rang in and said, I want a sponsor. I started in, 22 years ago, and we had something called the BBC Bus, which used to go out teaching people how to use the internet. Because back then, nobody knew how to use the internet back then. It was a relatively new thing. But we used to broadcast as well. So we'd do a live programme each day between 4 and 5:30. And my job was to figure ways to actually get us on air. So this was at the time when we were moving from analogue into digital. So we developed a system called the Comrex, which allowed us to plug into people's phone lines. And we'd turn an analogue signal to a digital signal, which allowed us to actually broadcast it out. So we could literally plug into anybody's house, anywhere in the county, and we'd do a different programme every night. It was superb. I was around when it was announced that the Queen had died. Now, what that means, most of the country won't really accept something as major as that until they've heard it from the BBC. Now, there's only a certain amount of people at the BBC that are allowed to actually break that story. So we were sat in here and all the alarms are going off. And when that happens, you know something major's happened. And then we were told that at exactly a certain second we are going to go over to Radio 4. And the announcement went out, and that's when the world realised that the Queen had actually passed away. And that's the responsibility of working at the BBC.
It's your Lancashire, and it's Garry with you through until 10 o'clock. And what have we got for you tonight? Well, I can tell you tonight, we have a special for you.
BBC Radio Lancashire.
There was lockdown on, and people didn't have much to do.
Yeah.
And people were sitting at home, some people lonely and on their own,
Yeah.
and waiting for information to come. And that is where the radio came in, day out.
I couldn't agree more. One of our great strengths is when trouble happens. When we get a big snowfall, for example, everybody turns to local radio to learn if the schools are closed or what's happening with travel or the bus is running. You know, am I going to need things? When there's floods, we are blighted sometimes in Lancashire by floods. There are certain parts of the county that are flood spots, if you like. I'm thinking St Michael's on Wyre. I'm thinking places like Whalley, where there have been floods time and again. When that happens, we can be there and we can give practical help in the sense where chemists are if you need medication, where to get your batteries from for your torches, when the floodwaters are coming. And I think radio is incredibly important. I think radio is different to TV in that TV demands that you look and watch it and take time out to do that. And that's brilliant. That's absolutely fantastic. But radio's a great companion as well. If you're cooking, if you're driving in the car, if you're, whatever you're doing, you can have radio on in the background if you're working. And we keep you company and we play good music and hopefully give you a laugh, make you think about things, make you go, ooh, didn't know that, whatever it might be. We'll have a laugh, we'll have daft competitions, we do all sorts of things. And you know, a lot of people think radio is on its way out. A lot of people point to younger audiences and say, well, they're like accessing podcasts and they're getting the news and the radio from places like Spotify, TikTok and all the rest. But I think radio still has a way to go. I think it's a powerful medium. And when you look at the figures, there's still plenty of life in the old dog, definitely. When you get past my great-grandparents, I'm all in Ireland, on both sides of my family. I've got ancestors from County Mayo, from Wexford, from Cork, from Roscommon, and that's in common with my wife as well. She also has County Mayo and Roscommon connections. And we had before the pandemic, we had a fantastic week where we went to Roscommon and we traced some of our relatives, and she were in the churches with the family books and all the rest of it. And we've located the farm where one of our ancestors would have had pigs and sheep and would have grown potatoes. And to be literally walking in the footsteps of your ancestors is just amazing, the echoes of history. And, you know, it's no surprise that Lancashire has quite a part of the diaspora because lots of people came over. It's probably fair to say that the northwest infrastructure, canals, railways, were largely built by the hard work of Irishmen. And they'd settle and they'd live, you know, uncomfortably so they could send money back. Yeah. Then things would get better and they'd bring the family over and the community stuck together. And, you know, all these years later, I think it's important to remember those sacrifices, that hard work, and to celebrate it.
BBC Radio Lancashire.
Now, Garry, tell us how people can tune in and listen to your show.
Go to BBC Sounds and search for BBC Radio Lancashire, and then you'll see on Thursday nights from 7, Your Lancashire. The programme is live on the Sounds app, also on the radio. If you live locally, we're on 103.9 FM, 104.5 FM, and 95.5 FM. We're available within Lancashire on Freeview channel 720 on your TV, and you can listen to anything the station does for 30 days via the Sounds app. So there's lots of ways to interact and to listen and to catch up on things that you haven't, you know, you've missed or you want to listen to again.
Well done to everyone at BBC Radio Lancashire for all the entertainment and information they broadcast to their listeners. Now, don't forget, we'll be back next Thursday evening at 7:30 with the Irish in the UK. Until then, take good care and thank you for watching.